welcome to Pasanic Mum, a podcast by three Vietnamese college students trying to navigate adulthood through the scope of both our Vietnamese and American cultures. We're just here to share our lives with you. My name is Jasmine, and this week I am desperately trying to fix my sleep schedule.
I'm Cindy, and I'm a little overcaffeinated today.
And I'm Zui. You can call me Kevin, but I am overly procrastinating this week.
In today's episode, we will be discussing our experiences with online learning during a pandemic and how we've adapted our life through a screen. First, where are we right now? Currently, Cindy's in her second year at Seattle University. Zui and I are both in our first year at UW Seattle, although Zui is a transfer from Running Start, but we'll get into that later. And our transitions have been a little rough, so we thought we'd share experiences of how we moved into online learning last spring.
All right, so when we transitioned into online learning, I was in my first year at SU, and we got kicked out of school near the end of winter quarter. And when we all received the news, everybody, or most people, were panicking and thinking about how are we supposed to learn all this curriculum, especially nursing curriculum, online. And I feel like it didn't really hit me until I was actually in my first online class at home, since I was living on campus during that time, attending school online at home, and just thinking, how am I going to do this? But the professors were really accommodating, and they adjusted really quickly to the situation. I think they were just so incredible on how they were able to switch their curriculum so quickly. So that quarter, I had math class, and we didn't even have a math final. He just dropped it for all of us.
Lucky.
And I had anatomy and physiology, and he allowed us to drop our lowest exam grade too. And it was great to have such understanding professors, because I personally didn't have any big issues that impacted me during that time of the pandemic, but a lot of people weren't so lucky. So to have our professors have our back like that was so nice of them. And then by spring quarter, everybody kind of understood the gist and started accepting that this is the world we're in now. And professors were still really accommodating. Most of them let you drop an exam if you wanted to during that quarter too, or having notes during our exam. So it really made things a lot less stressful. The curriculum was still hard, but it was definitely a little bit better.
That's cool. Yeah. For me, I think I had a similar experience to Cindy over here, but I was finishing up my senior year in high school, but I was doing Running Start, so I was at Highline Community College, and so it was the end of the winter quarter for me, and it was really weird because it was finals week when we started to actually move online, so it was really hectic. And so, but I was really surprised because a lot of my teachers actually dropped their finals, so I was actually really happy and really excited that I didn't have to do some finals. And so I was like, yes, easy, like 4.0s or something like that. But the only hard thing about it, because I was still in high school, or I was still in my senior year of high school, so I had to like talk to counselors still, and it was a little bit challenging to get in touch with them, because sometimes they didn't answer emails and all that stuff, and so it was kind of weird. But eventually, I think I finished all of my credentials to graduate, but. So, and then I had to move on to spring quarter now, and so it was all online, obviously, but it was definitely interesting because I had to wake up to actually Zoom, so it was very different for me, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I have very different experiences from both Zui and Cindy, because Zui and I are in the same graduating class, but I did, I still did high school. Like, I was still at the high school during my senior year with a full AP and college and high school schedule. So, because of that, it was a really, really rough transition moving high school classes to online because high school are not equipped. We don't have the programs and the resources originally to do online, and like they didn't have the right structure to do it online. So that was really interesting having to learn with the teachers how to do online learning. So like the way my school did it in those last few months was that they set like we'd only have like one like period of every class a week, and we'd do like different subjects on every day. It'd be like math and English on Monday, and then like PE and art or history and social studies on a Tuesday. So it was really weird only having to do like assignments every week rather than every other day with our original block schedule. So that was not fun for me. And then also I had AP classes, so it was like it was hard to shove all that information in the span of a week. So we had a lot less work, and like with also like preparing for the exam. For anyone else who did AP exams the year 2020, it was rough. Having to do it online, having to work with submitting it online, having to just being able to Google things was also a very weird experience for me. And like being able to use my notes. So it was a really because it was my last year, I wasn't used to it. And it was a lot, way more lax than any other year I'd done exams. And like the only class I really felt like I benefited with having more time was like throughout the week was probably my English class, my UW English class. Because prior to pandemic, I would pull all-nighters, start my papers at like midnight and write till 5. But now, like when it was pandemic, because I had more time during the day and I had nothing else to do with my life and I was bored as heck, I would read my books that I wouldn't have normally, and I would do my essays ahead of time. So like that was the part of the pandemic where I had a more positive kind of outlook and schedule, and like my mental health was doing all right before the summer. So yeah, that was like high school compared to college is pretty drastic. Like, what do you guys think?
Honestly, the way that high schools responded to the pandemic and how they transitioned is so weird to me, because colleges literally just went synchronous to Zoom. Nothing changed, like the days and the times didn't change. The way we took exams were just a little bit different in the fact that they were online, but they were essentially the same format. So I don't understand the reason why high schools would have you take that one class every week.
Yeah.
Just once a week.
Yeah, it was weird. And also, like, our classes weren't really synchronous.
High school.
Because...
High school was so, like, weird because it wasn't ready. They weren't equipped to transition all their material online.
Yeah, because, like...
So,
we used...
it's really weird.
Like, colleges used Canvas. And, like, that's very easy to navigate, very easy to, like, put resources in, especially, like, for online classes. We used Google Classrooms. So we used Google Meets to hang out with, which sucks. And also, like, our classes were optional to go to. So, very different. Because there were, like, some high schools...
They were optional?
Because there were, like... I had classmates who did full-time, who transitioned into a full-time work schedule during the pandemic. So they, like, kind of wanted to accommodate for that. But it was weird. It was really weird. I didn't go to most of my classes. I just watched the recordings. Yeah, I'm jealous of you guys for being able to do
either if it was optional.
Yeah, I'm jealous of you guys getting
Yeah.
to like.
But even if it was like recorded, did it sound like awkward though?
Oh, it was very awkward. Everyone had their cameras off. It was just the teacher. It was like no one was really talking. Like no one wanted to be there, so it was extremely awkward. Zoom is so much better. As annoying as Zoom can be, it is way better than like Google Meets, like high school classes. No, it's so nice being in college this year. Yeah, because like if I were like still a junior or a senior in college in high school this year, I would definitely be doing Running Start. I would not even bother with trying to do high school online because it's not the same experience anyways. So like,
True. Because we're always like used to that traditional high school where it's like in person, in class, talking with everybody, talking to the teachers in person, right? But then, unless you had like something like Internet Academy or something like that, you wouldn't be used to that online learning, online lectures or anything like that. And so, it definitely is something weird.
yeah,
Oh, and like passing period, sometimes like even if you didn't have classes with certain friends, you would use passing period to talk to your friends, kind of
For sure.
de-stress after that one class before going to the next class. So I can't even imagine like not having that little social break, you know?
yeah. Passing time online is just TikTok, so it's like going on your phone.
It's very individualized now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was fun. All fun stuff. But now, well, now that we're like in our winter quarters in college right now, all in different places in our school careers, our schedules are a little different because of online learning and our different paths and different courses, and like our different areas of study. So this kind of like brings us to our current online schedules and how we feel towards that. So like asynchronous, synchronous classes, what do you guys think about that?
I had my psychology class in spring quarter last year was an asynchronous class, and we had like an optional class time we could come to every week, but nobody went. I felt really bad for the professor who would just come and nobody else would come because nobody would really have questions and nobody really put an effort in that
Oh my
point
gosh.
because we were all tired, you know? Like, not only was the pandemic happening, just all the world problems were crashing down at that time. But I thought asynchronous was kind of weird because you can't really respond to the teacher in that moment if you have a question or a concern. And it feels kind of lonely, too.
Yeah.
Like, maybe on Zoom, if everybody's cameras are off and synchronous, even, like, in that environment, I feel a little less lonely than listening to a lecture by myself. I don't know.
Yeah. I definitely.
Oh my gosh, I took this one religion class in my spring, or what is it, fall quarter, just this past quarter, and every time the teacher was like, "Oh, you guys should ask some questions," we would always like, so nobody would ask a question, and then somebody would ask the question, but the person who asked it was like, "Oh, I'm sorry if this is a stupid question," but every time he would like say, every time someone would say that, he was like, "No. Nothing. There are no stupid questions. We're all here. What I always say is, if you have a question, 30 other people might have the same question." So I was like, this guy is very fun to talk to, but it's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely prefer synchronous classes over async. Like similar to Cindy's schedule for last year, I had one class, my Greek and Roman myth class, that was completely asynchronous, which I was like not expecting to be asynchronous, which kind of sucks. But I would like bank all of my weeks, like all the lectures for the week, on the weekends or like right before quizzes, because it was a quiz-based class, so it was like the only assignments we really had was like watch the lectures, study, and then take a 25 multiple choice question quiz and there were like 4 of them, so it was like really easy to slack off in that class, and like really limiting social interaction, because like with my other classes, my professors, like yours, we were really like accommodating and like welcoming for and inviting for people to join in on the conversation. And that's really nice because you get to benefit from like the contribution of other people. You get to hear the professor's answers to other classmates' questions, and you feel a little bit more in school.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. And how would you say, like, is there anything different in how you guys prepare for classes like pre-COVID and now?
Oh gosh. Well,
like-
since it's online and there's like a set time for online classes, I usually wake up like 10 minutes before the class even starts, and I don't leave like because you don't have to really get ready, to be honest. Like you can just show up onto the call and then listen, right? So I would just wake up like 10 minutes before and boom, I'm in the class.
Yeah. Like, I used to live on campus last year, so I had pretty set and chill morning routines. But then once COVID hit, I remember my anatomy and physiology class was at 9:20 a.m. in the morning. I got out of bed at like 9:15. And, you know, at the beginning of class when they would do introductions and stuff, I would be brushing my teeth.
I felt
It
that.
was so bad.
I feel that, like,
I
this
sometimes
morning,
wake up
Now
on the
it's
dot.
A lot better.
yeah. This morning, I woke up at the time my class started. My class started at 10 this morning, and I woke up at 10. So I rolled out of bed and walked to my desk, and I was so tempted to skip, but I didn't. So, and there was one time, the other day,
I'm so glad.
I was in my liberal arts physics class, and I turned on my laptop, I got into Zoom, I made sure that my camera was off and that I was muted, and then I went to go brush my teeth. I came back and we were in a breakout room, and I was just chilling with the professor. So, that's always really awkward. That's like the second time that's happened to me.
I think I think it's happened like last week. I woke up and I joined the Zoom call, and I think it was like a breakout room or something like that. Or it was a quiz section, and then I kind of dozed off back to sleep for like a few minutes, and then I woke up to the sound of like the TA telling me like, "Oh, can you not find the breakout room or anything like that?" So I quickly pushed the breakout room to join it, and then I got out of bed, and I was like, "Oh my god." They really called me out because I wasn't joining the breakout room. But it's a good thing I realized it quick enough, because it would have been more awkward if I didn't respond like after like a few minutes after they said that. It would have been so funny. But yeah.
Yeah, it's always awkward.
Yeah, that's why I always bring, because my class also utilized breakout rooms a lot, so if I was like brushing my teeth or making breakfast, I would bring my laptop with me just to make sure. It's such a bad system. And I did that for spring quarter essentially too. But
Yeah.
I'm a lot better now. I don't know, are you guys still like the same now?
No,
Oh wait,
I'm
you guys
still the
talked about
same,
recent
dude. Oh my
experiences.
Yeah, we talked about
This is
like
like
experience.
This was
like-
last week, man. This
yeah,
was
this
last
is
week.
like last week, this week, Cindy, this morning. Yeah.
Facts this morning.
This morning, today.
Wait, I have a story from my first day of school.
Tell it.
This quarter. So, my new morning routine is to at least make some tea. Like, be out of bed 30 minutes to an hour, make some tea, get ready, whatever, you know. And so, I was making tea last Tuesday in the morning before my 10:15 class until the milk I had heated up in the microwave exploded and it spilled all over the microwave. And I had 5 minutes till class left, and I just frantically cleaned up the milk from the microwave. I I have to rush upstairs, get into class, and I was so angry. Like, I turned my camera on, you could see frustration because I needed that to start my day, and I just didn't have it, and we were doing introductions, and I'm like, I want my tea.
You know,
It
I
was
feel
so
that.
stressful. But then she gave us like a 10-minute break. So then I rushed downstairs, made my
your
tea, and I just looked better afterwards. I was like,
There you go.
I am content.
There you go.
That's why morning routines for me are really important for Zoom.
Clearly.
because
That's good.
If not, I'm just going to be angry the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. And like now that we've like,
So how do you guys feel about like though?
oh,
How do you guys feel about online school now? Like pros and cons or anything like that?
yeah, like, I really like the flexible schedules that we have. Like, I like being able to, kind of be able to toggle between, like, my online classes and, like, also online meetings and have a little bit more time in between. Like, being able to tutor, because I tutor on the side, is a lot easier with online classes than it is with, in-person classes and like going to school. Even though it like kind of sucks to do online tutoring, the schedule is a lot nicer. And like because I'm at home doing everything all day at this in the same place, I can like do more in between. Like whereas I'd be driving or like walking to classes and stuff like that. How are you guys?
Pros and cons. Well, the pros, like as you said, there's like less time to get ready, so I don't need to look that presentable. You know, you can like I can literally like wake up and be on my PJs and join the Zoom call or whatever, but I don't really need to look too. I don't have to put like jeans on or like an actual like nice shirt or anything like that. I can just be in pretty simple clothing and don't need to really do my hair. I can go in with like bed head. I can either like turn on the camera or turn off the camera. It doesn't really matter. So just being comfortable is nice, I guess. Being able to do your classes in a comfortable situation.
Yeah, I feel like your impression online is going to be a little bit more forgettable than your first impression of someone or people in person. So I feel a little bit more confident in what I want to say in class with the feeling that nobody's going to remember what I say / look like. I don't know. Is that just me?
I mean like yeah, I get that.
Yeah. But I guess a pro for me, personally, just knowing that online school is going to be more difficult than retaining information in an in-person setting, I tend to work a little bit harder during Zoom.
I can't relate, but I mean, go you. Go you. I just can't relate.
That's definitely- yeah. I think that's definitely something for you. For us, is like,
Yeah. Like, I can. My whole thing right now is that, like, because, like, some of my professors don't. Like, one of my professors doesn't have any, like, PowerPoints really. Like, it's all, like, just, like, demonstrations and, like, him talking to us. Or, like, I have another professor who doesn't post her PowerPoints. So, my thing is, like, I'll just watch the recording later, which is also nice about online school. I kind of just, like, watch the recording later and, like, take additional notes when I need to. Also helpful for, like, studying. Yeah. But, like, there's also, like, a lot of cons to online learning. Like, I don't know. For me, like, going off of what I just said, I have way less motivation to do school. I have way less motivation to get out of bed because it feels like fake school doing online. It feels like fake school. I don't really, like, get the college experience. It doesn't, it's a weird, like, in-between.
I feel it, man. I'm just like you. I think we're very different from Sydney, where she's like, "Oh, I'm motivated to do school because it's online. It's harder. I'm gonna do this." No, for me, it's like, do I want to get out of bed today? Do I? No, I'll sleep another 20 minutes. I can join it later. I can do this later
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah.
Or like I'll take mini naps between my classes, which last quarter
Facts.
sometimes resulted in me missing a class or two, but we're not going to talk about that. The thing is, we're going to talk about like how I get to have mini naps in between my classes. So yeah.
Wait, this is a little bit off, but have you ever taken a nap during class?
Yes, I have. I actually have.
Okay, you know, I was really
I did that last quarter.
I am very
my
bright right now.
God.
But I was so unmotivated during like towards the end. Like my history class last quarter felt so much like my APUSH class that I took junior year. And so just to like get the participation points, I'd turn off my camera, mute myself, have it play in the background, and I would just lay my head down and sleep. I'd go back to watch the recording. But yeah.
Oh my god. I had a 2-hour like class every Tuesdays and Thursdays last quarter. And this professor would literally just talk about the stuff we read during the class. And so it was already stuff that we knew about, and so he was just talking about it again. And so I was just like, this is so boring. So I put my head down and I doze off, and then I wake up. Next thing is like, I think 5 minutes before the class ends, and he's like, all right, do you guys have any questions? It's time to go. You guys can leave if you guys want to. And I quickly pushed the leave meeting because it's done. I'm like, all right, we're good.
Wait,
I don't need to do anything.
y'all don't like say thank you to your professor before you leave your classes? I always unmute and say thank you.
I do.
Sometimes if I feel like it.
I either say
That's
it,
it.
chat it. Sometimes I'm so like detached, I kind of just leave.
I always.
But I always say thank you at least at the end of the quarter. You know what I mean?
If I'm done with the class for that day, I'm just like, you know what? I'm out. Leave meeting.
I always say thank you. I don't know. I always said thank you in high school too. I would always say thank you to my teachers when I left the classroom. So it's kind of like a habit for me, an old habit.
Wow.
That's good.
What a
You
good
should say thank
student.
you.
Yeah.
What a good student.
Do you know how much they're going
Honestly.
through? They
You're
need
right, you're
to
right.
know
I
they're
really
doing
should.
good.
I really should.
Yeah, but like what also
Next class, if I don't miss it.
yeah.
You start tomorrow.
What also sucks about
See if I wake up
oh,
for
sorry.
it.
Yeah. What also sucks about like
Uh.
online learning is that I get way less interactions with my classmates. Like last quarter, outside of like the giant Discord chats we had, I would talk to like 3 classmates, like that I didn't already know. And like I didn't really have a chance to make like college friends. So I've been hanging out with like you guys, my youth group friends, and like my high school friends. So yeah, what do you guys think?
I was in a breakout room in my math class like last week, and nobody talked. Like at all.
I hate that.
It's so
And there
awkward.
was, I think there was like 6 people in that room, and I was like, and I joined the breakout room late, I think, for like a few minutes
He
late.
slept through it.
But when I joined it, nobody was talking, and I was like, this is a math class, so at least maybe we should be like talking about the problem or like helping each other out. No, I sat there in silence, I'm pretty sure for a good 10-15 minutes, trying to do this one problem by myself because nobody else was talking, and I'm like, why is nobody talking? Can somebody help me? But like,
Yeah, it sucks because like in those kinds of instances, like it's really awkward having that silence, but you don't want to be the one filling the silence.
you feel like someone
Oh,
else
yeah.
should, right? Someone else is gonna do it. It's that mentality where like someone is like, oh, I'm not gonna do it because I think somebody else is gonna do it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's why in discussions I try to say something like really broad and that I feel like people can contribute to. So then they could be like, oh, let me just say that quick thing so I could get my participation point. You know? Just try to help people out. Because I get it's difficult to be present, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Ooh.
Yeah, and like with screen time too, it's like really weird. It's I don't know about you guys, but it's mentally tolling for me to be on the computer for so long and to do
I think
everything
it's different for
on the
everyone.
computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like
I think
I
it's different for everyone because I'm used to the screen time. You're probably not. 'Cause
am not.
You're a reading
Well,
person.
not just that, but like I do.
And you're a gamer.
Well, not just that,
Yeah,
but like I'm
gamer, so
a social
used to it.
person. I did a lot of extracurriculars in high school, so like I'm used to like face-to-face interaction, and like everything's on my computer because now I have social interaction on the line with like games and calling friends, and then like I have school online, I have personal stuff online, and then I have like work online, so it's a lot. Yeah.
Cool. So anything we should be taking away from this experience or continued experience of online learning?
Yeah. Well, for me, I think we should keep Discord servers. I love Discord servers. I think they're great because it's a lot easier to keep in contact with classmates. And, like, what's also really nice is this quarter for my English class, people bought the PDFs for the textbooks and just put it on the Discord. So I didn't have to pay for my textbooks this quarter, which is really nice.
Man, they plug in you easy.
What? Jeez.
Yeah, it's
Big
great.
ones.
Yeah, I really appreciate when people would make online chats and group stuff for their classes, because everybody's really trying to help out everyone else. You know, it's a very great community that we have here in college.
Yeah, that's great.
I definitely need to make a schedule that I should stick to, though. Because I'm the type of person
yeah.
who's like, if I make a schedule, I try to like, I'm like lenient about my schedule. I'm like, oh, I can do this instead. I can fit this here. I can fit that there. But I really should just make a set schedule and then stick with that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that like kind of moves into like good time management for like some of the advice that we would have going into like online learning. 'Cause personally for me, I have been trying to work a lot more on time management. Like I keep a bullet journal, and with my bullet journal I have an academic planner where I keep track of my assignments and my exams and my class times. And then I'll make like mini to-do lists for every day. But it doesn't always help. It helps a lot, but I don't always stick to it.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. But it's nice, like, writing out what you know, like, physically and knowing. Sometimes I'll do that too, and then sometimes I won't stick to the schedule, but I am much more productive with it,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah. And I also like to schedule in breaks because, you know, with online school and with all you have to do, it's very easy to get lost in it. So it's very important to schedule yourself breaks too. So I like
Maybe I should do
making
that
drinks.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should actually schedule break time instead of just taking spontaneous breaks out of nowhere.
Yeah, I can't relate, but and like another thing that we think is really good for online learning is like being presentable and being present in classes, like dressing up. Most days, I mean, some days, like, I don't know about you guys, I don't really feel like taking a shower before my classes and getting dressed, but like most days I'll try to do that and like turn on my camera so that I pay more attention to class. Yeah, like having food nearby.
Yeah, same here. I feel like, yeah, I also like to dress up a little bit most of the time, just so it feels like, I'm going to school, I'm ready to learn, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like with motivation, like you were talking about with the breaks, it helps for me to like set checkpoints for what I need to do for the day and like do rewards after. So like I'll tell myself I'll do this reading, or I'll do these few readings if they're like short articles, and then I will watch watch an episode of Netflix, or I'll play one game on Valorant, or I will read for a little bit. So that's like what I've been trying to work on.
Turns into like 8 games.
Sure, we're not gonna talk about that, but it's a lot better than like my typical habits of like binging work and then after binging like relaxed time.
Cool.
Yeah. So like, moral of the story is online learning definitely has its pros and cons. The real enemy here is COVID, and hopefully everyone can stay motivated enough to keep wearing masks and social distance as vaccines are distributed and the pandemic comes to an end.
So thanks for listening to us talk about our weird and unique experiences with online learning. This is definitely a rough time for everyone in the world right now, and we hope you guys are all hanging in there and staying healthy. And be sure to tune in next Friday where we talk about our future career plans.
Yep, our podcast is on Spotify and YouTube under our name, Pass the Nook Mum. And you can also follow us on Instagram if you guys want to connect with us and receive updates on our pod. So we'll see you all next week.
Bye guys!
Bye.
Hey guys, it's Jasmine, and I just wanted to pop in real quick to talk about our featured charity for this episode. The charity we chose for this week is called Northwest Education Access, and it strives to support low-income youth in achieving higher education. Their organization provides financial resources, mentorship, and information that assists teens and young adults with figuring out education and career paths. We think this is a great charity to support youths in the Seattle area, so we're asking you to please look into their organization and consider supporting them. All of the proceeds we make from this podcast will also be donated to them. We are not affiliated with them at all. We just wanted to feature this charity and its goals.